What about making a movie that took place entirely on screens and social media at all? What about that was maybe cathartic or a lesson learned for you guys since we spend so much time in that world?
There's a particular sequence in the film where the case starts getting bigger and bigger and sort of starts to explode on social media. That was a particularly fun sequence to write because we all have these qualms about social media, and I think the movie tries to pull back on technology and not just represent it negatively, but try to represent it more holistically, not just like in a negative way.
Yeah, authentically.
But this sequence was our way of being like, fuck you, internet, sometimes, which was like very fun to kind of write and like to poke fun at like all of the people that we know who have posted statuses that are very similar to that, or like taking advantage of something that is really terrible in the world or something like that. That was just a fun sequence to write.
I mean, what was cool is like early drafts of the script were a lot more on the nose. Like talking about like, David, you can't break into your daughter's laptop, like that's her privacy at stake, and things like that didn't make it past even the outline. But we realized that like the movie just taking place on a computer screen and like us showcasing statuses and the posts that people make and the texts that come and go, that in and of itself, just the experience of watching that is a commentary on how we all live our lives on screens. And we were really grateful to the Alfred P. Sloan Foundation who gave us the Sloan Prize this year, and I think it was due to that because they felt the movie had an interesting commentary on how we've all become dependent on technology and what that means for us.
Yeah, the subtext is already there. I really like the sequence where what's the main character's name? Joncho? David, where David is calling all of Margot's Facebook friends just because he starts to find out none of them are actually really her friends and how kind of impersonal friendship is
That's one of my
online.
favorite parts.
And also all the like fucked up comments and stuff about like, oh, this dad definitely did it and stuff. It didn't feel like satire. It just felt like an honest portrayal of like the kind of stuff that goes on.
That's sad, but yeah. Okay.
It's true and sad, yeah.
How did you guys end up getting the Alfred P. Sloan Prize? You just like entered.
Well, I believe Sundance used to give the award out during the award ceremony.
Or during the middle of the festival.
During the middle of the festival, but this year, I think it was John Cooper's idea to let the jury watch before the festival and basically allow a film to be highlighted. So they, announced it when the program came out, which was really sweet and great for us because we got some.
It was amazing, and we knew about a week before the Sundance program was announced, and that we found out about the Sloan that we might get it, and we kind of didn't tell anybody outside of us, our inner circle, because we're not going to get that award, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Aneesh was, I think, in Bali. He had just escaped the path of a raging volcano.
Literally,
like the volcano.
literally, not joking.
He was finding himself. He was.
So that's the next movie.
Yeah.
And I remember like when Natalie and I were together, we were just kind of going for a walk or something. We saw the email from John 9, and it was like, you guys got it. We just were like, oh, it's 4 a.m. for Aneesh. We're not going to call him. We're calling him. We called Aneesh, and he woke up in the middle of the night. We're like, dude, we won the Sloan Prize, and it was an amazing moment.
That was a great moment.
I mean, I'll just say something. Like, this is IONCINEMA, right? We love you guys, so I'll tell you guys the truth. We were looking for, we didn't have the biggest budget in the world, right? And we needed to find a major location that we could just shoot like David's scenes in, his house, Vig's house. We needed a place that had like a backyard. We needed a place that had a cafe.
Exclusive.
We needed a place that this is an exclusive for IONCINEMA.
Yeah.
You're only gonna hear this here.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
But you're okay with me sharing this, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
It doesn't
I don't know
reflect
if
any of this.
I don't know if I'm
So we found a house in like La Tuna Canyon in like Angeles Crest, Los Angeles, and it was like this massive house that had like 7 bedrooms or more.
Way different. They had a doctor's room. They
had a jail cell,
set.
a restaurant.
They had a bar set.
So from an
5 bedrooms.
indie film perspective, it's like a fucking
So much
dream
space
come
for
true.
everything.
And we were like, Natalie and our producers were like, where have you got, how come we never heard about
Yeah.
you guys? You guys are not listed on any of the usual websites. What movies have been shot here? And they were always very shy. They're like, not a lot of movies. I don't think you would have seen them. We're like, whatever, dude, this place is
A
perfect
lot
for
of
us.
movies we just don't think you've seen them.
Oh,
is
that's what they said.
Yeah.
Which will make sense.
We have shot a lot of movies here. You have not seen them probably.
And there was the last day, and I was like, we had shot this whole thing.
13 days have passed.
We had
yeah.
used the jail cell as like where production was
That was our
headquartered,
production office.
the production office, and we were using every different doctor's room for all these different things.
Yeah.
And as we're packing up on the last day, as we finished up, like the camera department looks up to me and like goes like, hey, you know this place is, right? And I was just like, what do you mean? And they're like, they shoot porn here. And we were like, I was like, oh My gosh. And
We
all of a
were
sudden
so
we went back to
stupid.
the
And we
room,
were all-
every room, and I was like,
It just
oh
made
my
sense. It
God,
just
It
clicked.
all made sense. This is
It just
porn
clicked.
house.
Every one of those sets was a perfect porn set. So this wholesome family movie that we like to think searches was made in a porn house.
Alleged.
Hey,
Not confirmed.
but they gave us a great deal on it, so thank you, porn house.
Yeah. Wow, amazing detail. Thank you for sharing. It took a lot of courage. What advice would you give yourselves if you could go back in time? Career advice, personal
My
advice?
big one is always this. It's probably a boring answer, but I really believe in self-education. Like, there's no excuse to not read every book you could get your hands on, every script you could download, every article you could find, every podcast you can hear. There's a wealth of knowledge out there about filmmaking and how to break into the industry. Obviously, I fully believe get out there and just do it, get out there and meet people, but I think before you do that, learn as much as you can on your own, and that'll just give you so much more of a facility to go out there and like meet people and have a foundation of knowledge. So self-educate.
I would say take the opportunities that nobody thinks are worth it, because it's out of those that if you kind of can capitalize on, like you get a lot of positive attention and help you kind of leverage yourself up. That's what happened with Duo Glass, and based on the early reactions here, that's what's happening with Search too.
I don't feel like I'm anyone to give any advice, but I
Neither
would say.
am I gave something.
Yes, you are. You're a Sundance director.
Sundance producer.
Take the projects that like scare the shit out of you. Like if something lands comes across your desk and you're like, I have no idea how I'm going to do this. Take that and just push yourself, because it's the most rewarding process ever.